Have you been asked to make some journal entries and you are finding that they don't balance or that there's an error and you can't find it? Well, I'm Professor Capko and I'm going to show you one of the ways to find an error and correct it in this video. But first, I want to say I believe something awesome is about to happen for you, so be on the lookout for it. And now, back to the video. This is an example that was sent to me by a student, and they were getting an error message when they tried to do all the journal entries for this. It says that the above three separate situations require an adjusting journal entries to prepare financial statements as of April 30th. For each situation, present both the April 30th adjusting entry and the subsequent entry during May to record the payment for the accrued expenses. And when they entered it, they were getting an error and they weren't sure why. Take a look yourself. If you see this error already, go ahead and put it down in the comments. Sometimes, remember, it's more difficult to see an error if you are doing the work. Sometimes it's good to have a second pair of eyes look at something, but I'm going to show you how to find the error in these journal entries. Let's take a look, and each one we know has a debit and a credit. There might be more than one debit or might be more than one credit, but each transaction, the debits and the credits, the dollar amounts have to balance. So if you have $100 debited, you have to have $100 credited. It doesn't matter whether it takes 2 or 3 entries, debits or credits, as long as they add up to an equal amount of debits and credits when you look at the dollar amount in total. So let's look at that for each of these. So I'm going to annotate this, and we're looking at entry 1 here, legal services expenses. And you can see here that there's a debit of $2,500 for the expense, and you do debit expenses in general. And legal services payable is $2,500. So the debits and credits equal there. And that makes sense. We're going to have a payable that is a credit because it's money we owe. So in this case, it's accrual accounting. We are accruing $2,500 worth of legal services, and we go ahead and put it as payable because we haven't paid it yet. We haven't written a check for it, but we do want to recognize the expense. Now for May 12th, we have legal services payable. That's the same entry here, and the cash is credited. We're debiting the legal services payable, so we're now taking that out of the liability of a payable and we're paying cash. So we're reducing the cash by crediting cash for $2,500. Those, of course, also balance, so we're good there. On April 30th, we have interest expense. We're debiting, and we generally expense things by debiting them. And we have $1,503. And we have interest payable. Again, it's something that's a liability, and we're going to eventually have to pay that $1,503, but they do balance in this case. Let's look at May 20th. We have interest payable. So it looks like we're in the process of paying off that interest, but we only have the debit here of $1,503. We don't have a credit. We have a debit without a credit. I think we have found the error. If you put that down in the comments, congratulate yourself, because sometimes these are hard to find, especially when there's a lot of entries and a lot of information. Here we can see that there's a debit of $1,503 and there is no corresponding credit, so it does not balance. What do you think the corresponding credit should be in this case? Well, we don't see the actual transaction, and what I'm going to presume is that since we're reducing a payable, that means we're actually paying it. So that would be reducing cash by crediting cash for the $1,503. So that I would imagine, is the entry that we are missing here, the cash for credited for $1,503. Does that make sense? Let me know if it doesn't, and if you need this clarified, put it down in the comments. We can just double check the other ones. Salaries expense. We're expensing the salaries, $3,600, and it's a payable $3,600. And then on May 3rd, we go ahead and take care of that we have an additional salaries expense because apparently some more time went by and some more money was earned by our employees. So we've got a salaries expense of $5,400. That'll be added to the $3,600 that's already there. And we have a salaries payable that we have to take care of. That's $3,600. You add those together, and I'm pretty sure it tells you it's $9,000, and we're going to pay that in cash. So we're crediting cash for $9,000. That's all I have for you today. And if you want to get a video made for you on a problem that you have, I do that for members. Go ahead and consider joining by clicking that join button and looking at the options. Some of the things that are benefits that our members enjoy are early access to videos, as well as special members only videos and quicker responses to their questions. If nothing else, the benefits also accrue to those who subscribe. So hit that subscribe button and hit that notification bell so you never miss a video. Now make it an awesome day. Thank you.